reason that people are here tonight is because we all know that on some deep level we're all here on purpose. We're all here on a mission. And that everybody has come in with gifts and talents intentionally to make a difference in the world through their work. And then we get here, and of course what happens is we forget that. And this world is filled with illusion and confusion and negativity, and so we go to what I call is the pitiful self that we all have, right? And the pitiful self is the little voice that talks all of us out of our greatness. And I just want to help all of you remember that that magnificent soul in you intended to be here on purpose, intended to do your greatest work, and that every moment of this lifetime has been on purpose to get you there. And it's my honor to help you remember that and help you see your next step in the journey. And all of the pain that any of you have ever felt before has been on purpose. It's your fuel. It's your fuel to do your greatest work, as long as you look at it as your fuel and not as your stopping point. All right? Does anybody have a question? Well, the thing is, we all have those sorts of dreams, but we also have a voice inside of us that is our deep soul voice, our intuitive voice. And that's the voice that when you go for the walk on the beach and everything is stripped away and you're just your bare naked self, you know who you are. And you know what you're here to do. And that's also the path that's reflected in your date of birth. That's what I help people remember. Because when the soul dropped in, you knew you were going to get lost down here. So you wanted to set up some little waking up point, some little inner voice that was going to help you remember. And so you encoded that in your date of birth, in the vibration of those numbers, in your name. And that's what I help you tap into. That's what the book helps you tap into. And everyone always says, how did you know that? Or that's what I've always thought of, or that's what I've always dreamt of. Because I'm not inventing this stuff. I'm just helping you guys remember it. And that's all anybody needs is a little nudge just to remember it.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
And I'm Jennifer. I'm Sue's editor at St. Martin's Press, and we're so thrilled that you all came. And thank you so much for coming. We're thrilled with the book. It's so exciting. But a question just popped into my head as you were talking. And I thought to myself, so because I love this book and believe in the message, and it's helped me so much in my personal life. What happens to the people that come here, and if the soul's desire to find your own purpose is so strong, it doesn't seem to happen for most people. Why, if the soul's intention is so strong, why doesn't the soul make that happen for everyone?
Because we came here as the great challenge to learn from bumping against the obstacles. In other words, when we're in the other realms, it's easy. There's no resistance. We're just divine light beings. But when we decide we want to evolve the consciousness, we want to push the planet to the next level, evolve the human spirit to the next level, we choose to drop into this dense realm, knowing that when we get here, it's hit or miss. We're going to all forget. We're going to have pain. Someone's going to break our hearts. Someone's going to die that we love. We're going to lose a career that we love. And that at those moments, we get to choose, do I now keep moving towards my divine work, or do I give up? And every one of us gives up at some point. But many of us, most of us, wake up again. And I can say, I've had many points in this lifetime. My husband died when I was 29, and I had sold everything I owned and moved to Mexico to teach fitness. I was done. Didn't want anything else to do with life. And of course, that doesn't last long. And suddenly your soul starts speaking up again, going, come on, remember, and you start getting back to who you are. And I think that the reason everybody isn't already there is just that we're all connected. We're all part of this journey together. The quantum physicists say we're all part of the same energy membrane. That's a physical expression of the fact that we are all divine energy beings connected with energy, with light. And so as I raise my consciousness, I'm actually helping all of you. And as you raise it, you're helping everyone you know. So as each of us do it and more wake up and remember who we are and use our work to be meaningful, to help the world, to use our gifts, We are transforming the human race. We're transforming the planet. And then we'll be able to help those people who are too lost in their pain to be able to come up and look at the bigger picture. So you guys are the leaders. You're here tonight. It's on purpose. You're reading the book. You all are remembering what you're here to do, and so you have to go out and be little divine light beings helping everyone else. In fact, Wendy, I was watching Wendy talk to somebody in the crowd, and she's one of my clients and has read my book, and I was like, go, Wendy, you're helping people remember who they are. Yes, that's what I want all of you to be out doing. Using this knowledge, this story, this remembrance to help everyone you know remember. All right, any other questions, or did you have anything else to say?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know whether you're going to get to all of us, but I'm just kind of curious. How did you start on your journey in order to help the other
It's
people?
a really good question. Well, that's how many hours do you have? Well, I guess I keep going back to that moment when I was 29 and I was an outward bound mountaineering instructor and my husband died from cancer. It was a huge turning point for me. And at that moment of my grief, I thought that the world was meaningless and I was really lost in my pain. And then someone gave me a numerology reading, and at that moment this woman sat down in front of me and showed me my date of birth and my departed husband's date of birth, and basically explained the soul agreement that we had to go through that experience together. And it was the most enlightening moment of my life. It all rang completely true for me. And from that was in 1979, 1980. And from that moment on, I kept studying the birth dates of everyone I knew and going, is this really true? How can this be true? And I would do all my family and friends. And then I would pull back and question it and go, that can't be right, because this is an energetic, interactive universe. How can it all be fate? It can't all be fate. And so I would battle that demons back and forth. What does all this mean? And finally I reached a point where I put it together and I understood that we all come on purpose. It is in the mission of our date of birth. We do have soulmate agreements, but it's not fated. Because when you hit your moment of pain or despair or greatness, you have a choice. And that choice that you make at that moment determines if you live up to the great potential. So it took me a long time to put all the pieces together. And then also I was always very intuitive, or as I say, I was the weird kid growing up, and always the weird person in any job I ever worked in. Well, come and work with me, and I'm so grateful for you all coming here tonight. Catherine, yes.